What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Revival. My name is JJ, and here we go with part 2 of my PS2 collection. Okay, stack number 2, here we go. First one up is, again, bad with pronouncing stuff, Atelier Iris. There are a lot of Atelier games at this point, and this was the first one and the only one that I have played. I just couldn't get into it. I'm not crazy about alchemy in games and mixing together items and creating new ones and all that stuff. I've just never been a fan. I don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I just never liked it. And that's like a lot of this game. I thought the aesthetics were kind of neat, which is why I picked it up. And it's a JRPG, obviously. But I just wasn't crazy about it. Not a bad game by any means, but just not for me. So, and because of that, I haven't played any of the other ones. If there are any that are like starkly different to that, let me know, because I'd be happy to try it out. Next two, Disgaea and Disgaea Cursed Memories. I've never played a Disgaea game, but I want to because I like tactical games, and these games have such a reputation for being really, really deep with their gameplay. So I definitely am excited to check these out. I'm not entirely sold on the art style, to be honest with you. But if the gameplay is as good as people say, then I could definitely look past that, and who knows, maybe once I play it, I'll end up really liking it too. So I'm definitely not above giving it a shot. So definitely looking forward to trying those at some point. Next one is Soul Nomad and the World Eaters, another game I have not played, but because it looked like a tactical game, I thought I'd try it out, and yeah. Definitely want to give it a chance. I like the art on the box too, which is really cool. So at some point, I will definitely get to that. Next two, Dark Cloud 1 and 2. So I played Dark Cloud several times on PS2, but never got past I think it's the third world where you get the genie. It was just so long. And it was okay, but it's so repetitive. It was crazy. Then when it came out on PS4, I figured I'd give it another shot, and I did it there, and I platinumed it because I liked it so much. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed the first one. Have not played the second one yet, but I hear it's a huge step up too, so I'm really looking forward to getting into that eventually. I had that on PS4 as well. Just really, really cool concept. Love the city building aspects and being able to see it from above and then go down and walk around in it and stuff. I thought that was such a cool concept. And then the Zelda dungeon hack and slash kind of gameplay, that was really cool too. So definitely good solid games there in the Dark Cloud series. Next up is Grandia 2 and 3. I have not beaten 3. Well, I've not even played 3. 2, I played all the way through and beat, and really enjoyed it. And I'm super stoked that they're bringing the first one, and I think the second one, to the Switch. It's just gonna be so great. Because I never played the first one, and I really enjoyed this one. So this one looks like, I look at 2, and I remember it being serious-ish, but with the aesthetics and the way it looked, and the I don't know, the colors and how bright and vibrant it is. This seems so much more lighthearted than this. This seems so much darker, just off of looks alone. This seems so much more serious. So I don't know. I mean, that could be a complete mischaracterization. I could be completely wrong, but that's just the way it looks. And I remember really liking this one though. Next one doesn't really need an introduction. That's Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and Chain of Memories, which is an awful game. I do not like it at all. it didn't add anything to the story really at all. It was kind of just like a recap of what had already happened. I was not a fan, and the card battling gameplay was just not fun. I did not like it at all. It didn't make sense in a lot of cases. I'm sure if I studied it and read up on it and all that stuff, it'd be fine, but I was just not a fan. It wasn't for me. However, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, great games. Fantastic. Absolutely spectacular. I don't know why they made side stuff. I guess it's fine, but 1 and 2, and I assume 3, are easily the best in the series. I haven't played 3, but 1 and 2 are spectacular games. Next one, La Pucelle Tactics. I had never even heard of this game until I heard on Terra and Lightning's RPG Roundup. On their podcast, they talked about this, and they talked about it quite a bit, actually. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to check it out, because they like tactical games, and they had such high praise for it that I thought it sounded kind of neat. So it's definitely cutesy, a little more cutesy than I'm used to, but if the gameplay is as good as they were describing and stuff, I think it'll be a real treat to play, so definitely excited to check this out at some point. Next one is Legaia 2 Dual Saga? Yeah. The first one I have played so many times and tried to finish so many times, never have. I need to, and I want to. But it was just so grindy, especially if you wanted all the abilities for all 3 characters. I have not played this one. I don't know how much it differs or if it's even connected or anything like that. I am just it was so hard for me to get through the first one. That was when I was younger, so maybe now I have patience and I can get through it. But I want to finish that before I get into this. But I didn't hate that game. It was just rough to get through, if that makes sense. So I was like, well, I didn't hate that, so maybe they improved upon it. So I did pick this up. So we'll see. We'll see at some point how it is. The next one is a little embarrassing. So EverQuest Online Adventures. This was around the time online games started really taking off. And I thought, oh cool, I'd be able to sit on my PS2 and play stuff online. That's great. I made sure I had an internet connection and all this fun stuff. I didn't realize you had to have a subscription as well. So I went to the store, bought it, was super excited, brought it home, popped it in, and then it was like, give us your credit card. I was like, what? I don't have a credit card. I'm young. Begged my mom for, to pay for a month or so so I could try it out. I didn't even play it for a week. It was not my cup of tea. The world felt empty, I remember. There wasn't too many people that played it, and it was just... I regret buying it. Yeah, and I can't do anything with it now because the servers are, shut off. So it's now it just sits on the shelf. It's fine. It is what it is. However, the next game is amazing, and if you have not played any of the games in this series, this is a wonderful one to check out. Fatal Frame 2. Scary. It is scary. I played through this with Mark. This has been an ongoing joke with him and I. Mark from my old podcast. We always talk about this game, still to this day. We'll talk about Crimson Butterfly and Fatal Frame 2, because we were at... I think I've mentioned I used to go to the lake with him and his family up in Iowa, and this was one of the games that we brought one year, and we didn't finish it, but we played through a big chunk of it. I was the one who played most of it. But there's just such freaky imagery in the game, and there's certain ghosts that you can't attack or do anything with, and so you're running and you're screaming, and it was just, even with other people in the room, it was still terrifying. I haven't played it in years. I'd like to go back and try it again, because the story actually is really cool. You're in this old abandoned city in the woods that is just totally run down, and you're this little girl trying to kind of put the pieces together of what actually happened here. And it's really, really neat, but it is definitely chilling. So, but I do recommend it, Fatal Frame 2 for sure. Next up is Summoner. A whopper of a game. This is an older PS2 game. I think it's one of the early ones. I remember like action-y. It's not like you're not going ballistic and swinging your sword like crazy and stuff like that. It's very slow-paced combat, but you are out on the field and you are like swinging your sword and stuff and choosing your attacks and whatnot. And I believe you could summon into different beasts and that kind of thing. I remember there were so many quests to do. I never finished it. I didn't even get very far because it was just so daunting. There was just so much going on, and it was so slow to get from point A to point B that I was just like, all right, something gonna happen, Definitely wasn't bad. Definitely something I want to get back into at some point, but just not something I could finish at the time for sure. The next three, I don't have much to say because they're pretty self-explanatory, and that's Guitar Hero, Guitar Hero 2, and Guitar Hero Rocks the 80s. Fun fact, I love 80s hair music. It's so good. But I had a lot of fun with these games. They're just a blast to play. When you got a couple of friends over and you're just having a few beers and just rocking out to some Guitar Hero, it was a blast back in the day. Now, obviously, with Rock Band, it's a million times better because you can sing and play the drums and all that stuff. But back in the day when we just had the guitar and stuff, it was a blast. It was a good time. Next is Brothers in Arms: Road to Hill 30. I love historical games. I think they're just so intriguing, and this is just a really, really fascinating game. My dad actually watched me play a little bit of this, I remember, and he was pointing out all the inaccuracies because he was a big history buff. But it was really, really cool to be able to kind of just like share that and play through this story. Really good stuff though. Yeah. Another game that doesn't really need introduction: Grand Theft Auto 3. Grand Theft Auto. I don't remember much about the story, to be honest, because I did what everybody else does, and that's just run around and causing complete chaos and mayhem. So, yeah, this is a fun game. Next is a game that I had heard about from some friends of mine who were super into it, I think on the PC at the time, and I saw it on PS2 because I was like, I have a crappy computer, there's no way I can play it on there, but you guys are playing it, so it sounds fun. I want to try it on PS2. It was alright. It's Tribes Aerial Assault. On the back of the box it says, "Goodbye Halo." I don't think that's true. That didn't happen. Not a bad game, just not a great game by any means. Next up, the first Dragon Quest game that I ever played. Wow, this box is in really good condition. That's probably why I bought it. I don't think I ever had interest in the Dragon Quest series because I had always heard how grindy it was. I didn't realize until I played this, which is less grindy than the other ones, which is kind of funny. I remember buying it for the Final Fantasy XII demo, playing that and being like, oh my gosh, what is happening in the series? But when the game actually came out, I did enjoy it. But Dragon Quest VIII is phenomenal. It's a spectacular game. I have not finished it. I don't plan on finishing it until I get through to this point again. I did play a lot of it, but I am currently playing through the series, and I'm on 5 right now, and I'm working my way up because I want to see the improvements that they made throughout, because man, this was such a fantastic game when I did play it, and I'm really looking forward to getting back to it and eventually finishing it. Breath of Fire Dragon Quarter. This is the only Breath of Fire game I have not played, and it is kind of the black sheep in the series from what I understand. I guess dying is a major part of it, which that sounds frustrating to me, but I guess it's something you're supposed to do. I guess you play up to a certain point until you die, then you play from the beginning again and keep going up to that point, and you get stronger every single time, so you get a little bit farther every time. I'm not sure how that feels to me. I will try it at some point because I do like the Breath of Fire games, but I have not tried it yet. Next one is my least favorite game of all time, and that is Unlimited Saga. This game is awful. I can't even describe to you what it's like because I barely played it because there was really barely anything to play. Just go look at a Let's Play of this game. It's just awful. Yeah. You know what? Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. It's a bad idea. It's a terrible game. Stay away from Unlimited Saga. Next one is much better in the series, and that's Romancing Saga. And that's like a little more like Saga Frontier, where you choose the characters, you play through the same game world, but you play through each one of their stories individually. I haven't finished all the stories in this, but I really did enjoy what I played. It's been a long time, but I do enjoy the Saga series overall, just not that one. But this one was much better. Alright, so that's part 2. Join me again next week for part 3, and we will continue our trek through my PS2 collection. Until then, thanks again, and as always, keep on gaming.